SPY here, guys, just is still trying to move itself on up. Maybe again a possible quick little short here. And SPY, we just had a quick little pop right at 10 o'clock. Are we going to keep on going? Let's see. Maybe a possible contract over on SPX. I can't afford too much at this time, and I just don't. I have my big account ready to rock and roll. I just don't want to again be putting myself in any sort of unnecessary position. 3960. Right now we got the SPY still trying to move on up. We came on up right next to that, right next to that line, starting to have a reversal back on down. We go back to our 1 minute time frame. 1 minute time frame, taking a look over on this play. S&P 500, a little bit of an uptrend. All I want to do is try to make a nice trade here. Deck, why is it slower today? Like, why are we not seeing a crazy amount of hype and volume and action and good stuff, good activity and everything we want? Well, it's because it's Friday and it's because it's a holiday weekend. Team, I see traders that say, oh, I'm going on vacation this weekend. Why? Because it's a holiday weekend. Oh, I have 3 days off. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's less volume. Less volume equals less activity. Less activity equals less profit. So the thing is, we have less volume. We have less traders. We have less press releases. And again, the holiday weekend right here usually just leads to overall slower conditions. So S&P 500 at this time. Still watching this play. HTGM still watching this one as well. I know HTGM is trying to hold its gains. HTGM, little heads on up. If you are interested in a short, that trend is starting to go at this point. So this is another play that if you are interested over on HTGM, that trend is starting to go. There is more bearishness on this play. Right now, team, it's not that, I don't want to trade. Just confidence is a little bit lower, right? And just because I don't see too much, all right? I just don't see too much that I feel too great about. JSPR trying to move itself on up. HTGM right now trying to move itself on up here still, even with the cracked trend line. We do have BBBY. BBBY right now, that stock is sitting right around 446. Came on down to a low of the day around 418. I do think, again, BBBY will continue to fall as well. And right now, we're really just waiting on everything. And no, again, remember, it's a Friday. It is a Friday before a 3-day weekend. There's going to be less volume, less press releases. What makes stocks go up and down? People buying them, people selling them. Now, why do people buy them and why do people sell them? Because, again, they have news. So what if we have no news? Well, then no one's going to buy and sell anything. And what if it's a 3-day weekend where we already have less people buying and selling things? So we have no news and less people to buy and sell. We have less activity. So that's why we got to be very, very smart today. IMV, SOS. CHEK here, PANA. PRAX, guys. PRAX trying to get a little bit of volume all the way up towards, again, that 200-day moving average, 415. JSPR, HTGM, NCTY, QBTS, PRAX, guys, still trying to get a little bit of hype. XPON was the top gainer from yesterday. XPON was the top gainer of yesterday, trying to get some momentum. S&P 500 at 395. We did get that little pop on up towards like 395.80 for like a second. I don't even feel like that can like really count. Right? I feel like that can't even really count. If this trend line starts going here, starts cracking, we could see a little bit of reversal. But as of now, it's still holding up pretty strong in my eyes. As of now, it's still holding up pretty strong right here. Look at this guy, still moving itself on up. Here we go. Starting to get a little bit more hype. S&P 500. So Deck, what's the trade that you're looking for at this time? I'm still looking for this. I'm still looking for this trend line. So Deck, how are you trading this? I could see top resistance, fall on down, top resistance, fall on down, come on up, hit top resistance, fall on down. So my entire trade that I would be looking for would be coming on up towards around this purple line, then starting to fall its way back on down. So that's what I'd be focused on. That's what I would be looking at. And as long as you stay underneath the price of $396, that would be like the best thing going for it. So here we go, guys. It's starting to move itself on up towards around that $396 mark, and anywhere right around $396 honestly could be a great possible short. And I can't afford too many shares right here because, again, this is my E-Trade account and I already traded BBBY, but we are all the way on up towards around that 396 area. S&P 500 possible put contracts. If I just want to switch on over to a limit order right here, can we again keep on moving on up, or is this going to start dropping? I'm actually thinking about getting involved here over on this play. Guys, I'm going to get involved here, try to make, $200, and I'm looking for a put contract as, again, we just came on up to 396. So I just did 2 contracts on this play. If we keep on going, I'm going to do another 2 contracts on this play, just a little heads on up. So if we keep on going up even higher, I'll wait until we get above 396 and do another 2 contracts on this play. And the reason why I would do that is because I do think there is still a lot of room to be able to drop, fall, get weaker. So I'm going to wait until it gets above 396 to basically, add if I must. Now, this whole entire plan is if you just go back to a 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame, we can clearly see where resistance has been. We have a very big downtrend. We have a top resistance line right here. We have our resistance lines right here, and we are touching this mark right here. It only makes sense. If we have a downtrend where every time we hit the downtrend, we usually see a reversal, why wouldn't we go ahead and look for a reversal at the downtrend? It would be the same exact thing if you guys said to yourself, hey, every time we come down to this blue line, we bounce off it. We bounced off it here. We bounced off it here. We had old resistance. Remember, we go back into that 60-minute time frame over here, and we can say to ourselves, oh, we had resistance here. Scroll on back, we have bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play. It just makes sense. So that's why I just pulled the trigger. Now, Deck, do you want to lock in right now? You're up $117. I'm going to try to personally make a little bit more than $117. I'm going to see if this one can, actually get a red candle, maybe reverse back underneath 395. Underneath 395, I'll start locking in some profits. So here we are starting to fall. It's starting to get weaker. I'm just going to switch over to a market order in case I want to get out. And now we're currently up $387. Now we're going to be up $400. Team, we're still falling, guys. $400 profit. Let's lock it in. So again, we got our $400 profit. Nice job, guys. Hey, nice work. Nice job. Take again a nice $400 profit at that moment over on the S&P 500. Probably going to be getting that crack back on down underneath 395. But remember, we stayed patient and we waited for that reversal. How great was that over on the S&P 500? We stayed patient and we waited for the reversal. We stayed patient and we said to ourselves, hey, you know what? This is a play that is probably going to have high reward and low risk. High reward and low risk. So we make a nice $400 profit just right there. So came on up, got the nice little, again, put contract, back on down. And team, that was only from a $2,000 investment. Put in $2,000, won $400. Not bad. SPY still holding well, coming on up. 200-day moving average is at 397.20. So if you guys are interested, S&P 500 still moving itself on up, and the S&P 500 is still on this uptrend. S&P 500 team is still looking really good. I'm actually thinking about getting back in on the SPX on the call side. SPX call side, think about looking for a possible entry, and because we're still holding the uptrend. And I could imagine us actually getting a little bit more hype towards it, maybe again spiking on up in a stronger manner. So could we do SPY on the call side? Let's put that on the bottom level too. SPY still moving itself on up. Let's take a look at that 15-minute time frame that we were looking at before. 15-minute time frame obviously has broken. That's going to bring in more volume, more hype, and more attention as that line has been broken. And I could imagine this one actually picking up steam. I'm going to go ahead and do SPX trade on the call side. So I'm going to go on the call side here, hold this for a little bit, and see if maybe we can rip and rally up towards around 397 plus. And I'll try to, lock in my profits. As I said, if we can get up towards, 397 plus, lock in some profits when we get around that area. Right now we're coming back on down to 396. Let's go back to a 1-minute time frame. Deck, what would your stop loss be? Stop loss would be if I see us going underneath this purple line, okay? underneath this purple line, that would be at the price around, if I see the S&P 500 go underneath 396. I'm going to see, can I add one contract to this actually? Can I add one contract? I can. Okay. I'm going to do 3 contracts, SPX. As long as we stay above the price of 396, I'm good to go. If it goes underneath 396, I'm going to get out. So, Deck, why'd you just jump in on the SPY? Well, we are holding an uptrend. We did again break the 15-minute downtrend, which obviously shows strength, and we still have room to run up to the 200-day moving average right here, up near around 397. I really do believe that we are going to get up towards around 397, but at the same time, I will have a stop loss, as I stated, right around like 395.90 to 396. You know, I will allow myself to try to make some money, but if it goes underneath this purple line, I will get out fully and just not hold and hope. So I'm going to have quick stop losses, but I am looking for a squeeze on up if we can get one up through around a high of the day of 396.50 and break on out. If we go underneath 396, going to get out just because I want to make sure I'm just playing that trend line as good as I can. Playing that trend line as good as I can. But here's that purple line trend line. Making sure we can hold that 396 mark. And as I said, regardless, even if you're like, Deck, you know, I want to hold this a little bit, I do think you will get up towards around 397. I'm just not going to take any sort of unnecessary risks on a Friday, you know, before, again, Martin Luther King Day, on a 3-day weekend. But I'm here to trade. I'm here to make money. Let's play the trend line, see if we can get that squeeze on up to 397. So we want a nice little bounce off again, bounce off this purple line and rip on up. That's what we want. Bounce off this purple line, rip on up, and let's try it again. You know, just add $200 to $300 on this trade. I invested, if you're saying, Deck, how much money did you invest on this trade? I invested about $1,800 on, about $2,000 on this trade. So I invested about $2,000 over on this trade. Let's see what we could possibly make. Right now we're down $163, but we are looking for the S&P 500 to bounce off this purple line, break a high of the day, and run up to 397. Right now we're about 10 cents away from a new high of the day. So if we can break that high, if we can break through 396.50, we should be able to see that nice strong rally that we really want. So right now, team, we're about 10 cents away from breaking that high. I'm also watching SPX on my other screen because that's my actual trade, SPX, and we're coming right on up towards that high of the day. Now, can we see that squeeze and breakout? We're testing those highs, guys, testing those highs, looking for that squeeze and break. We're down $28 on this trade. We got to be able to squeeze and break that 396.50 mark over on, again, the S&P 500. We got to be able to squeeze and break this high right here of 397.8, and if we can do that, that's where, again, we're going to get that next leg. So I'm looking for that nice move on up right here, but as long as we hold the purple line, we're still good to go. As long as we hold the purple line, we are good to go, and that's all it is, guys. So let's see how long can that purple line hold on up for. We can also see, again, when we're looking at that 15-minute time frame, we broke the downtrend. The downtrend was supposed to hold on up. The downtrend did not lead to the reversal. Since the downtrend did not lead to the reversal, what's the other option? Well, it would lead towards a spike. If you're not reversing, you're spiking, right? If you're not reversing, you're moving ourselves on up. So let's see if the S&P 500, here's a touch of the high of the day, touching the highs right here. Watching SPX for that next leg. It's getting rejected at the high as well. So, team, both these plays right now, we are, again, looking for that break, and we are sitting right at those areas. 39650, team. If we start going back on down to 39610 or so, you may have to get out of this trade. We tried. Nice little bounce off the purple line again. Notice we got a nice little bounce off the purple line. This is why I love trendline trading. Trendline trading is so easy. It's so fun. You do have great rewards in trendline trading because we are risking the minimum to win the maximum. We know that if we lose, we're going to take about a $300 loss. But if we win, we could be able to make $1,000 plus. And how great is that? How great is it is if we win, we can make $1,000 plus. If we lose, we'll lose $200, $300. How great is that to know? So here we come back on up, team. We're still looking for that rally. Currently up $16. That's going to get myself some Chipotle for after this trade. And come on, baby. Let's add some chips to that Chipotle. Let's add some drinks to that Chipotle. I don't want to ask for a water cup and fill it up with Sierra Mist or Sprite. I want to get myself a nice XL, baby. Fill that thing up with some dark old root beer. Huh? Come on, Chipotle. Double protein me. Double protein me. Yeah, I want a little extra sour cream. Throw it on there as well. Right now, just playing the trend line, team. Trend line's still looking good. We're hitting some new highs at the moment. Oh, it's still again sitting there. Still sitting there. Hey, SPX still looking good. SPX hitting some new highs. SPX still looking good, moving itself on up here. So SPX still ripping and running. Let's throw SPY up on the top level too. SPY on the top level too, guys. There we go. $316, guys. Now here comes the rip. Here comes the run. Here comes the climb. Now again, let's go all the way up to 397 if we can. Again, I want to see the squeeze now. We got up towards, again, 396. We're up $316 at this moment. Don't go underneath 396.50 again. We want to see this one again continue to rip and run. We got up to a high of 396.76. We're currently up $166. I don't want it going underneath the 396.50 mark. We are, again, still up a little bit. We were up again about $400 there for a second. I don't want it going underneath that 396.50 mark. Deck, can we keep holding on to this trade? We can keep holding on to this trade as long as the purple line holds, but I will say I don't like how it is not holding 396.50. I want it to hold 396.50. Just for this trade, I will continue to hold it until I see a crack of that purple line. And team, we are at the purple line, so please be careful. Please be careful. If this, again, goes underneath that purple line, you got to get out. You got to move on. You got to be smart. But it got the nice little pop there for a second. Can we, again, keep on holding the purple line? Come on, I want to hold the purple line. I want to hold it. I want to see this back above 396.50. See this thing. Nice little bounce so far. A little lower shadow. Give us that little tiny nub. Ooh, are we getting a little bit weaker here? Uh-oh, team. Guys, uh-oh. If this does not bounce, guys, I'm going to get out just to be smart. I'm going to get out just to be smart in case, again, look at this. It's starting to crack. I'm not going to end up, taking any sort of loss. I lost, how much did I lose on that trade, guys? $190. I lost $190 before this thing starts cracking on me. We were playing this trend line, but the moment that trend line broke, we knew that it was time to get out. So if we continue on with this strategy, right? We nail, again, one bounce, one move, one rip on that trend line. There's your $1,000 profit. Deck, it's not working out. The trend line's starting to crack. Hey, then get out. You lose very minimal. It's like, it's the perfect way to trade. It's the perfect way to be able to make money. And also, if you are saying, hey, Deck, I'm on the long side right now, I'm going to get out, then just flip it over to the put side, and you can go on the short side if you want to. So, I just took a very small loss. I'm still green on the day. I'm still up over $200 on the day. So the thing is, the S&P 500 trading trend lines on multiple trend lines, it's an awesome lesson right here. That was a great lesson just for you to be able to learn and be able to figure this out. I know we're kind of jumping into a middle of a trade here, but what we have right now is MGOL. MGOL is a new IPO. What's a new IPO? It's basically a stock that just opened on up. It stands for Initial Public Offering. It is the first time that the public is allowed to be investing into this company. 90% of new IPOs are going to come crashing on down. Every now and then you do get a very nice spiker that can go on big rips and big runs. For example, if we want to take a look over on HKD, HKD was a newer IPO that went on the biggest spike I've ever seen in history. This happens from time to time, but nearly every single one of these IPOs do come crashing on down. So I will also say that the majority of these new IPOs also don't have shares available to short. The good news was today, MGOL is available to short. If I want to locate shares right now, it costs $63 for 100 shares. So it is getting a little bit more pricey as time goes by. But I saw that this thing was starting to fall, starting to drop, and starting to get weaker. So I was willing to jump in on this play, saying to myself, hey, new IPOs usually don't hold their gains. Let me go ahead and see if I can jump in on this play, looking for a nice short. I'm in at the price of $13.38. I'm looking for this to open on up and essentially get a crack right back on down. That would be the best case scenario. I would like to see it open on up, come back on down to sub $11, and let's try to make over $3,000 on this Friday. So this is going to be opening up here. We can go to this website. It tells us all the NASDAQ current trading holds. We are going to be opening up on MGOL at the time of 11:42 and 10 seconds. So we still got about 2 minutes here on this play. Now, when MGOL opens on up, the best case scenario would be gap down, crack on down towards $10. Now, I'm in right now with a 1,000 share position. That means being in on a 1,000 share position, if, of course, MGOL falls, every dollar that it falls, I make $1,000 in profit. Every dollar that it rises, I lose $1,000. So right now, I'm currently up $1.60 from my position. You can see the price is $13.38. Right now, we're at $11.73. That comes out to a $1,600 profit. I would like to see this open on up, get a nice crack on down to sub $11, and that's going to push our profits up near around $3,000 on this trade, which will be absolutely fantastic. So I am absolutely fired up on this trade. Super excited to see how this one is going to be wrapping on up here. And we got about 1 minute left over on MGOL. So MGOL, do I think, even if it does get a little pop back up to like 1280, do I think that MGOL is going to ultimately fall? I would say yes. but the amount of risk there is. There's probably a 90% chance that MGOL closes this day back on down towards $9, $8, $7. There's a 90% chance that happens. But there is also that 10% chance that MGOL gets back up to $15, gets halted, and closes the day above 20 bucks. There is that chance as well, which is always very nerve-wracking. So for me, on a Friday, I want to take my profits when I have it, but MGOL at this moment is going to be opening back up in 20 seconds. Goal on this play would be a nice gap down and look to see if we can lock out around $10 support. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of support somewhere right around these lower shadows. Lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow. So let's see again if we can be able to take our profits here. We got 8 seconds, guys. Ready? Here we come out live in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MGOL, we want to see 10 bucks. MGOL, we want to see 10 bucks when this opens. Guys, 10.50, let's go. And let's keep holding here for a second. Let's keep holding here for a second. Boom! Everything these fingertips touch turns into gold. Everything that these fingertips touch turn into gold. $2,400 on my Friday. $2,400 on my Friday, baby. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it right there, guys. Nice bounce right off that bottom. Locked in our profits right away. Great job, great work. And MGOL, if it gets back up near around that $15 mark, team, that's where we could start getting a lot of hype. Chef Boy, I like that gift. That one cracks me up. And yeah, happy to help you guys on out. Happy to, again, kind of review this right now, making sure every single trader knows, of course, what's going on with this play. Starting to get a little bounce back on up. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this day, I was like, I really don't know if I can find anything I really